Hi, hi, hi. Wait for some people to join. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I just bought a bunch of games. Um, and I had to get something else for my computer in order to get my hard drive working. So there's that. Wish I was better with computers. I really do. But I'm learning. I'm learning. It is what it is. Hi, hi Dan. How's it going? How are you doing today? Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. I just bought a bunch of games because the sale's almost over. I'm doing good. Doing good. Shirt's a little bit itchy. How are you doing? Hi, Heather. Can't wait till your appointment. When is it? Is it today, tomorrow? It's getting a little late over where I am. Tuesday. Nice. Well, that's got to be a relief when it's over. I don't like doctor's appointments. Actually, my dentist appointment is on the 31st. And that's a relief because I certainly did not want to do all that and leave the house around the holiday because of Shando. I don't care about like just me, but Shando, no. In fact, my friend asks me to go over to her place. She asked me if I could go over to her place and help her with, smooth patio stuff for her holiday. She asked me to do it right on the holiday too, either day before or right on the holiday. And I'm like, sorry, I can't do that. Not this time because Shando is scared of fireworks. And if he hears even when it's not the holiday, if he hears a subtle pop off in the distance, he'll pull my arm so hard to dive for cover anywhere that I feel like my arm's about to rip off. And he's scared, man. I mean, he was better this time than he was last year and the year before that. Like last year, he'd hear a pop, he'd run to hide somewhere, and then he'd hear another pop. He'd scurry over to find cover somewhere else as if that was gonna end it. And then he's running all over the place with every pop that scares him, And this time he just stayed in one place. But he was trembling like a leaf. He felt comfortable laying there right by the door in our room here with nice and closed in and secure. But I went down to give him a hug, to give him some pets, and he was trembling like a leaf. It was kind of pretty heartbreaking, but he's getting better about it. That's good. You are awesome and you matter. Oh, thank you, Justin. So are you. What games? Yes, I just bought some games on Steam because the sale's ending pretty soon, and I got another component for my hard drive. I forget what it's like, M2 or something like that. Like, even my brother was having a hard time remembering what it's called, but I asked him for his help, and he said that that's exactly what I needed, and I should just, switch my old hard drive, put my whole hard drive back in there and install it later once I have my once I have the I forget what it's called, but it's a component where you stick the two hard drives in and you plug it into your computer, and I guess it transfers information from my computer to the new hard drive. I needed that, otherwise I would have just everything would have been obliterated. So I gotta wait till Friday until I can, well, at least live stream video games. I mean, we could do it here like this, from that angle, but it's kind of eh. Hi Joel. Hi Johnny. You play? Oh yes, you wanted to know what games I got. Here. I'll show you. You guys, let me know what you think if you've played any of these games. Some of them are just really good deals, and I read the reviews. I go for very positive to overwhelmingly positive. I don't want to waste any money on a game I don't like. Let's see here. Back to Steam, and let's see what I got. Okay, goodbye. Okay, shopping cart is empty now. Where are the games I just bought? Library. Okay, so recent games. I got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because I love Final Fantasy VII, the 90s version. That's one of my favorite games, and people recommended that game to me, and it's on sale, so I got that. I got Spider-Man. I got Spider-Man Remastered. Really good reviews on that game. I got 2 Spider-Man games. I got Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I got Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. They look really good. I got Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection. I got what is this? I got Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Yeah, I got Rebirth and Intergrade. And I got ooh, this one looks fun. I got Stray. You get to be a cat, and the graphics look really nice. I got Stray. That one looks so fun. Sea of Thieves. I got Bendy because it was like $2. Subnautica Below Zero. I got Invincible, The Invincible. Devil May Cry. I got the HD collection for a real good deal. Ark Survival of the Fittest. I got Ark Survival Evolved. Call of Duty Black Ops. Now, I remember first time I ever played Call of Duty was when I was like a teenager and I sucked ass. So we'll see. I'll probably have to play on noob mode, because if I'm playing amongst a bunch of guys who, you know, play this game all the time, then they're gonna I'm not gonna have a chance. So I got that. I got Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I got some really good deals here. I got No Man's Sky. That one looks good. Subnautica. Just Subnautica. I got Batman Arkham Knight. And this one, I looked up the reviews because there weren't any reviews. It's like new. But it looks really good. It has good reviews. And it's it was a really good deal. Dishonored. Yeah, I got a lot of fucking games. So I set my budget to like 200 and something. 220. Batman Arkham City GOTY, and Batman Arkham Asylum GOTY edition. Yeah, those all came in one bundle. All the Batmans came in one bundle. So that's pretty much that. Looking forward to playing. Got some good games. I want to play BioShock too. I have BioShock. I have Star Wars The Old Republic, which I've watched someone play that. It looked really good. Lord of the Rings Online. I got Destiny 2. These ones I got a little while back. Apex Legends. Yeah, so I got some good games. My brother recommended I get this game, Suikoden. Suikoden spelled Suikoden, but they haven't released it yet. They're about to, so I'll check that out too sometime. So yeah, there's that. Hi, oi, Brazil. How are you doing? Can I give you my Discord? I'm a girl. Oh, you know what? I should share that information with you guys. And now I'm able to because I have my laptop. Yeah, I can share my Discord with you. I'd be happy to. I can join the server. If I forget to accept requests on my Discord, it's because I forget. And then I'm like, oh, wait, shish, I got like 3 or 4 notifications, you know? It's never because I'm ignoring you. But yeah. I'm getting back into the groove. Back into the groove. Okay, let's, I really want to see the movie Eyes Wide Shut now by Stanley Kubrick, because it's so, like, everything that's going on with the Epstein files and Bohemian Grove and all this other shit, like, it's like I have no idea what the fuck's really going on, but that movie creeps me out because Stanley Kubrick, who directed it, he had to basically get his own studio. Like, Hollywood, I don't think they wanted anything to do with it. I have to look into that again, but he made his own studio in London so that he could do whatever he wanted with his movies, because he's very specific with his movies. He doesn't want to be controlled. And the elites of Hollywood wanted for him to edit that movie like crazy. They wanted for him to cut so many scenes out. It's basically about Bohemian Grove, that movie. And he said, no, you leave my movie alone. These are my rights, blah, 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 blah. Well, he was ended like 5 days later, 4 or 5 days later. And people think he passed away from natural causes. I call bullshit. I don't think so. Wow. There's some creepy crap going on. And so, I just don't think it's ever gonna. I'm really disappointed. In how the Epstein files have been handled. That was a promise, and I don't know if it's ever gonna be fulfilled. I don't know, like, what's going on behind the scenes, whether or not, like, some powerful people are basically preventing them from being revealed by with threats and blackmail and all that, because we all know that the Epstein files are full of blackmail. It's creepy. I don't know if it's too early for me to be too critical, but actually the fact that certain files have been revealed with hundreds of redactions just covering entire pages, I think that's a joke. I think, like, they're treating us like we're stupid, you know? That's inexcusable. And just imagine, there's probably like 3 million more files. Imagine what's in what those contain. Okay, let me share my info. So I always share my PayPal, Cash App, Instagram, and Discord. My Instagram has my artwork if you guys would like to commission me for a piece. Still working on this portrait of Jesus. It's almost done. And it just takes a little bit more time to dry because it's an oil. I'm really happy about how that's turning out. Let's see. Be careful though, I don't want to pick it up because it's wet. Cash App. What was it? Yeah. Down. Let's spill that right here. Here, let me put you guys over here for a minute. Okay. Okay, and my Instagram is anna.katrina.art. Okay, and my Discord is Emerald, like the stone. Sometimes I'm really bad with typos sometimes. Emerald underscore, whoops, underscore wing, like the fairy wing, WING, underscore 13473. So my Discord is emerald underscore wing underscore 13473. Here we go. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right, pin it. It's pinned. Hi, Lewis. How's everyone doing? Everyone chilling? Having a good time? If anyone's wondering, I changed my name to Tangent Tea because we talk about a lot of things on this channel. We do different things. Talk about, we sometimes I cook. Need to get back into that because some people like to watch me do that. Video games, and we're gonna improve that when I get my hard drive components. I figured out OPB Studio. We got more fireworks, and my Shandor's gonna be scared. I hate it when they just keep doing that, man. I mean, I know it's the 5th, but poor Shando. You know, I used to love fireworks. Now I'm like, I could do without, since it makes my dog unhappy. I don't like seeing. Oh, honey, careful now, careful now. Oh. Okay, honey. There's no room here. You're gonna knock over something. Look at my baby boy. Let me turn on the light here a minute. Honey bears, you're okay. Don't be scared. It was just a town. You're safe. You're safe with your bubbers. Okay, honey bears. I know. Oh, honey's shaking like a leaf. Here, let me hug him. It's my sweet baby boy. He's scared. Oh, poor baby boy. He's scared. He doesn't wear his elbow. Oh, he does. He does wear them. I have to wash him, though. I have to wash him. And when it's really hot, he lays down on the ground. He doesn't lay on his elbows, so I just take it off sometimes. If it's really hot and he, has a place to lay down where it's gentle on his elbows, I just take it off. I'll wash it in the meantime. Well, good for you, 448. Hey, Mr. Casey. How's it going? Hey. No, rigid durdub, and I'm not answering you any further. No, I'm not. Who hurt you? What are you talking about? Wow. Jeez, man. So many dumb shits. What game am I playing? I'm not playing a game at the moment. I have bought a few games, and I'm buying a few more components for my laptop so that I can live stream those games and stuff. I could play them now, but I'd be ignoring you guys quite a bit, I like to be engaged with you while I'm playing games and have it all set up like that, at least I figured out how to use OBS Studio for the most part. Now I just need to install the hard drive and all that. Ignore the idiots. You look great. Well, thank you, Gray. Thank you. Did I watch Freedom 250? No, I haven't. No, I have not. Shade, how do you find it necessary to tell her anything? Who are you? Yeah, it's nice to have engagement, troll or not, it's like, fuck them, But if it gets out of hand, my mods know what to do. Hey, friend, hey, Mr. Casey. all you people don't give a damn about helping this person. Well, guess what, Shade? I made this channel so that I could help you guys, so I could help other people, so that I can inspire people to get clean, or, you know, from drugs, or, you know, change bad habits. I give tips on how to, you know, find the best, healthiest distractions from things that are painful in life, no matter what it is. Thank you, Astrophyte. I appreciate the donation, man. You've been struggling with Adderall dependency? Yeah, that's a very common one. I've never taken Adderall myself, but I've heard it's really hard to come off of it. I'll have to look into that because I'm curious. You know, I'm sure there's lots of, like, YouTube videos, you know, accounts from people on how to deal with that. That'd be interesting to check out. Because, you know, a lot of these things, a lot of these substances, no matter what they are, if it's pills, opiates, anything that you are just tethered to and affects your life, and it becomes your sole obsession, and it sucks the life out of you, and it makes it so that you could possibly become homeless or whatever. You know, a lot of these things have a lot in common, you know. So you know what I don't like? I don't like it when people compare, like who's, you know, like it's the suffering Olympics. Like if you complain about a struggle you have, there might be one person who comes up and is like, well, there's always someone else struggling more than you. You think I don't know that? You know, right? I would never say that to someone who's opening up to me. Oh, there's always someone else struggling more than you. Like, man, it's relative for one thing. For instance, like one person might be better at handling difficult times than another person who's basically like if the other person has never experienced this type of hardship before, it's going to be harder on them than it is for the person who's used to it. You know, it's all about what we can do despite our circumstances to improve things and make things better, you know, just a little more endurable, you know. Alright, I get it. But yeah, we talk about video games too. We talk about art. I sell my art. Talk about my dog, and he's laying down right by my feet in this very, very small space. Let me move this for you, baby. Let me move that for you so you have more room. I know, I'm sorry we don't have much room in here. Oh, big boy. Look at my baby, guys. Oops, sorry. He's laying down right by my feetsies. Hi. Honey bears. Honey bears. I love you. Sweet angel. Look at him, guys. He just wants to be with his bubber. You shaking still? I'm glad you're not shaking right now. My sweet angel. You're absolutely gorgeous. The way you've taken care of yourself is an inspiration. Well, thank you. And it really makes a difference, and it gets better, guys. I would say I got these really nice notebooks. I got a whole bunch of them. You know what I really like about these notebooks? Other than getting to choose different colors, it's divided into 2 sections. I like that. I really like that. This is my grocery list for Shando and me, because Shando has a bougie diet now because he's allergic to regular dog food. Shando's getting beets, spinach, sweet potatoes, carrots, canned pumpkin, apples, chicken gizzards and hearts, beef ground, and we already have rice. We have applesauce. He likes applesauce. Eggs. We already have eggs. Gets an egg per day. You know, some people seem to be divided on whether or not dogs can have raw eggs. Like, I see people feeding their dogs raw eggs and saying it's completely fine. Even people who claim to be, like, dog professionals and shit. I don't know. I'd have to look more into it. But then I Googled it, and an AI told me, yeah, there's still risk for salmonella, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to believe AI over everyone else. I don't, nah, I'm kidding. AI can be mistaken. One dude actually went to prison because of like a traffic violation, which was registered through AI, and he wasn't even in the state. AI made a mistake. He could have gone to jail as an innocent person because of a mistake that AI made. So that's kind of scary. Thank you very much, Quentin. How many marshmallows can you fit in your mouth? Well, we don't have marshmallows, so I don't know. I can't, I'd have to test that out. I have no idea. I know that's a game that some people play. Some people give their dogs raw chicken. That does not sound like a good idea. I agree. Raw chicken's scary. I would not give Shando raw chicken. Hell no. No, Shando's not getting any raw chicken. I'm gonna go close my door so that I have a little bit of privacy. Close my door. I'll be right back, Shando. Stay right here. Stay comfortable, okay? Damn, you're good lucking. Thank you. If you had to estimate the number of marshmallows, oh my gosh, are they big ones or small ones? Let's just say there's bigger ones. The big ones you use at the campfire. So I'm gonna guess. Okay, I'm gonna guess. 20? Between 15 and 20, because they're kind of, flexible. I don't know, malleable. I'm gonna guess 20. And then next time I get marshmallows, we can test that out. But I'm definitely not gonna swallow them because I hate big marshmallows, man. And I do not want to be sick. It's all for the content, I guess. 20 is crazy. That's a lot. Then maybe, but okay, so maybe 15, maybe 10, or maybe between 10 and 15. I have no idea. That's a big number. Yeah, maybe it's a smaller amount then. I don't know. I'm answering questions. I'm not just whatever. Whatever, Shaka Willen. That's not the only thing I'm talking about. I'm answering your damn questions. I'm talking about video games, and I'm talking about Adderall addiction with someone who's struggling with Adderall. Whatever. I have nothing to prove to you. You're nasty. One sec. Thank you for the star, Kittles. I don't know why some people feel a need to be so nasty to people they don't even know. You know what I mean? There's something so weird about that to me. These people must be really struggling with some insecurity. Like, if they feel the need to go out of their way to hop onto a live stream and say nasty things to people, like, what kind of a life do they have, man? And these are the types of people who say to random people that they don't know, get a job, you know? Look at yourself in the mirror, sir. Or ma'am. It's called Chubby Bunny. Yeah, I remember. Jesus loves you, John 3:16. Are you a Christian? Yes, I am. Would you like for me to read John chapter 3, verse 16? I do read the Bible on my live streams. I sure do. It's not a bad idea. John chapter 3, verse 16. Also, since we're starting really late, we're just going to have a short, sweet, easy live stream, okay? Just going to hang out with you guys for a minute, and tomorrow's a new day. Chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Beautiful. Anyone else? Would anyone else like to suggest a Bible verse? Ooh. Austin's not a... It's not a chapter. It doesn't exist. Whatever. Folks, it's tough times. It's not easy these days for you young adults. So many temptations and drugs, so it's tougher times than even my generation. Yeah. I mean, the drugs are stronger. They're everywhere. They're all over the place. We've had some pretty bad periods of lots of young people getting their hands on drugs. But you know, people need to be told that recovery is possible, because too many people are under the impression that you're screwed at a certain point. Once a junkie, always a junkie. And does that help with anyone? Does that help anything? Does that give anyone any hope, any motivation to get better? Because it's like, if you're told that basically, you know, you're hopeless, that, you know, you're screwed, you know, there's no coming back from it, then what's the point in even trying? What's the point of exerting any energy or applying oneself to getting better and just quitting shit when everyone thinks you're gonna fail and tells you you're gonna fail, especially when you're really young and you don't know any better? Here's the thing, you need to look to people who are living fucking examples of individuals who have overcome addiction. There are people who've been clean for years and they're still kicking, and they're still doing a great job, and they're still living life to the fullest. Life gets better, your dopamine receptors revert back to normal. You need to have a little faith in yourself. If you don't believe you can recover. I know it's really hard in the moment. It's really hard when you're struggling on that stuff. But there does come a time when, and oftentimes it's rock bottom. It shouldn't have to take, you know, it shouldn't have to take hitting rock bottom to actually decide to make a change and improve your life. But it is what it is. But it does get to a point where, you know that it's this or the rest of your life. It's choosing heroin and discarding everything, or choosing everything and discarding heroin. And I choose everything. I choose video games, I choose dogs, I choose family, I choose friends, I choose my art. I choose to not get to the point where I have so much nerve damage in my arms and hands that I can't even hold up a paintbrush. You know how devastating that would be? I don't even know how I would proceed with the rest of my life if I survived that, but couldn't even use my arms, can't use my hands. That's always been like my worst nightmare, not being able to paint, not being able to use my hands. First book of Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. Awesome. Thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate that. First book of Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. Okay. Verse 15. Okay. Okay, yet woman will be saved through bearing children, if she continues in faith and love and holiness with modesty. Okay, thank you. Psalms, chapter 119, verses 113 to 20. Okay. 119. Thank you for the, thank you very much, Quentin, for the donation. Thank you. I'll read Revelations in just a minute. We're going first come, first serve here. 119. Okay. All right. 113 to 120. It's a long one. 113 to 120. Here it is. I hate double-minded men, but I love thy law. Thou art my hiding place and my shield. I hope in thy word. Depart from me, you evildoers, that I may keep the commandments of my God. Uphold me according to thy promise, that I may live, and let me not be put to shame in my hope. Hold me up, that I may be safe, and have regard for my statutes continually. Thou dost spurn all who go astray from thy statutes. I have a feeling I'm pronouncing that last word wrong. Is it statutes or statutes? Yeah, their cunning is in vain. All the wicked of the earth you dost count as dross. Dross? Therefore I love thy testimonies. My flesh trembles for fear of thee, and I am afraid of thy judgments. Beautiful. Thank you. Revelation, okay, chapter 13, verses 16 to 18. Okay, let's go. Chapter Revelations 13. Okay, 16 to 18. Alright. Trying to see where it is. I need more lighting here. There we go. Okay. Also it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, that is, the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let him who has understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666. You know, every time I read that, it's kind of like gives me a weird, it's like scary. I find Revelations kind of scary. Yep. All right, thank you. You know what? To Juan Char saying that drugs are better than God, you know, screw off. We don't allow that. Thank you very much, Quentin. I'm struggling now. I'm homeless and trying to be good. I have a job, but I don't think I'll ever have a home. Well, I don't know what type of job you have, ma'am, but you're struggling. I don't know if you struggle with drugs like I used to, or I don't know what, like, all the details of your situation are, but if it's just that, I don't know, man. I feel like there's really nothing I could say that you don't already know, but I think you can save and just keep saving, and maybe if you can drive, live in a car for a little while, and then once you've saved enough money, buy your own place. I had a friend who did that. He was homeless for a while, and he's a very smart guy. He translates. He's a translator. and he lived in his car for a while. He struggled with alcohol, but he still struggles a little bit. He has his like pack of beer like later in the day, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And he has his own place. It's, he looks good. He's healthy otherwise, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, he lived in his car for a while, saved money, and eventually was able to have his own apartment or place. I'm not sure if he lives in an apartment or a house. I think likely an apartment. But yeah, I haven't even been to his place. We used to just hang out at the cafe where I worked, and we usually just meet up somewhere. We go hiking. But I wish you luck, man. I wish you the best. Meet the sea. I know you can get out of it. Just gotta focus on that. Don't focus on what you don't think you can do. Don't focus on what you can't do, man. Focus on what you can do in the moment to make the situation better. And then just keep going. And then hopefully more doors will open up for you. In fact, I think they will. I don't know all the details of your situation. But I'll say a prayer for you. Guys, yes, I was a junkie at like year 2000, and if Fent was around then, I'd been dead, but there was no Fent back then, so I was lucky. Yeah, a lot of Fent kicked a lot of people off the face of the earth for sure. There was this warning issued out when that was all going down at like, it seemed like there was a peak at some point when, like 2022 maybe, or 2021, 2022, 2023, when fentanyl overdoses were the worst, or like kids on it. There was a warning issued out telling people to watch their kids and watch their dogs, because children, little babies and dogs were succumbing to that. They like little tiny pinprick amount on the ground. Your dog sniffs it, game over for your dog or your baby. It's very, very scary shit. I'm surprised I'm alive for sure. Thank you, Count. Thank you for all the stars, man. Appreciate it. It's very kind of you. Thank you. And live service games will probably make you do more drugs, so no games. That's stupid. Video games never make me crave drugs or think of drugs. In fact, they're a great distraction. They make me happy, man. They immerse me in a different world. I don't even think about drugs. Hell, I don't even crave them now. I've been clean for 3 years and 4 months. Almost 5 months. Almost 3.5 years. And I know it's not that long considering, but it is a big deal when you're an addict. I was addicted to heroin for 6 years, man, and some people think that it's once you get to that point you're effed, and I don't believe that one bit. I know people who've gotten better, and person I've heard who has ever said that, they were currently on that drug, and they'd been on that drug for a long time, and so they're just like, if I can't do it, no one can. And that's not true. We all have different motivations, different incentives, different strengths, different experiences. Just saying, I mean, it's not impossible to get better and get clean. In fact, it gets easier and easier and easier. And video games make my life so much better. I just love it. I enjoy them so much. I've played them since I was a little kid. They bring me nostalgia on top of it. Nostalgia is a great thing. It's a bittersweet thing sometimes, but it's like, it also makes me feel happy when I play video games. I love being immersed in something. Same thing with painting. It does not make you crave drugs. There's nothing connected to drugs. Now, eating, maybe, like if I'm playing video games, I might get the munchies. I don't think there's anything wrong with smoking weed. I might feel like smoking weed and playing video games. I know that's a good combination. But intellectually, knowing the harm that something like alcohol is going to cause me, alcohol nearly killed me. and heroin and stuff like that, like knowing what it did to me in the past and everything I'd be throwing away, I wouldn't be able to afford video games if I were doing heroin. So quit with the bullshit. A lot of people play video games and they don't immediately say, hey, you know what? Heroin sounds good. That's stupid. Thank you, thank you, Jerry. Jeremiah? Jeremy? Jerim Haltman. Thank you. I'm just vaping. I know it's not good. I know it's not good. I used to be a pack and a half day cigarette smoker, so I'm just damage control at this point. And I really wish that I didn't have this oral fixation and just get rid of it, but it's expensive too. But, you know, I hope I can quit it. That's something I'm having a hard time with. I'm not gonna lie. Praying for you. Have a wonderful evening. You too, Joel. You have a wonderful evening too. Ooh, girl, you caught me off guard with that vape. Please don't. It's bad for you, sweet. You know, I was considering, you know, maybe when I'm done with this one, I'll try to quit. But it's going to be really hard. I mean, that's going to be the next biggest challenge. And that's the thing. With heroin, it's easier to be like out of sight, out of mind. It's easy to, yeah, I mean, it's hard at first, but when everything's said and done and you've broken contact with everyone, it's not like you can go down to the nearest store and buy heroin, you know? Vapes, it's like you have one moment of weakness, you're like, oh gosh, that sounds good, you just walk right in. Yeah, that's one reason why cigarettes are said to be or thought to be harder to quit than heroin even, and that's just because they're available and they're not as socially acceptable as they used to be, but they're still being sold in stores. So what book am I reading? I was just reading some Bible verses. Yep. Would you consider reading one scripture from the Bible each day you come on air? I actually do tend to do that. And yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think it's a good idea to start a live streaming or end a live stream with a Bible verse. Absolutely. I love doing that. Perpendicular coffee? What? Those two words have no relation to each other. What does this have to do with coffee? Thanks for reading. Sounds different from another voice. Shando's just chilling now, baby. Thanks for the prayer. You're most welcome. 250 years of Tangent Tea. And 250 years is a nice rounded number. Thank you for all the stars, by the way, countdown stars. Sorry for being so behind, guys. I'm gonna catch up here. Yeah, addiction. You act like New Hampshire. You act like addiction is premeditated, and it's not. It's not. A lot of young, naive people fall prey to it. It's like a succubus that draws you in when you least expect it. I didn't even know what heroin really was when it was offered to me. I mean, I didn't know what the different modes of administration were. I didn't know that, you know, the whole foil and the straw and all that. I had no idea that was heroin at that time. I didn't know the difference between like speed and this crack and this and this and that. I was homeschooled. I was very naive. There were things I didn't know. And my grandma just died. I moved 3 times. I took care of her for the last 4 months of her life. Then I moved here and then I moved there. And there was a lot of shit before that and a lot of shit after that. And then when I went to college, I was a nervous fucking wreck. And I invited the wrong crowd into my apartment. And I said I had social anxiety. And they offered the dragon to me. And I'm just, without even really thinking twice, I just, yeah, sure. I don't want to feel right now. And so that's, yeah, that was, I mean, stupid on my part, but also just really naive, and you never plan that shit out. So, people like you are the reason why so many in this world lack any compassion for addicts. Now, I understand when someone just refuses to get better. You have an intervention with them, you take them to rehab, you know, this and this and that, and they just won't get better. That they have it set in stone in their mind that they're gonna stay an addict forever. I mean, I'm not like that, but I know some people are, and some people have a harder time getting clean than others. You know, some people live in shitty environments with shitty people. Some people's parents use, and it's like there are people, you look at them and they're addicts and you think, man, they never had a chance. There are people born into it. So, stop acting like we wake up one day and we plan it out on our bucket list. That's fucking stupid. If I knew more, if I knew better, I would not have touched that shit. But I was at a different type of rock bottom in my life back then, and I just didn't want to feel anymore. People need to have compassion for that, because I'm sure you've been there. I'm sure a lot of people, most people have been there, but they didn't happen to find themselves in the same situation that I found myself in when someone offered me, like at the worst time, that drug was offered to me. I quit cigs and now I'm trying to quit alcohol entirely. It runs in my family generations. Same. We got alcohol problems running in my family for sure. Absolutely. You're doing good. God is with you. It's all apparent. Thank you. Switching from cigs to vape, but I keep slipping back into the cigs. Yeah, that's the thing. I know that if I stop vaping, I'm gonna start smoking cigarettes again. I wish I could find, have the time and everything else to put myself in a out of sight, out of mind situation. Take a vacation somewhere or something. Just take this off. Got like a pimple patch. It's annoying. Yeah, that's not that bad. Okay. Did you go back to heroin? I'm just curious because you haven't streamed. No. And just, I have a life outside of this, just so you know. Just because I'm not doing this does not mean I'm doing heroin. That's stupid. That's fucking stupid. You know what I'm doing? We had a family crisis. I'm not going into details about that. But someone had to go to the hospital related to me. And I've mentioned it before. Yeah, my mom had to go to the hospital. I'll just say it. But yeah, we had a family crisis. It didn't seem appropriate for me to be live streaming when there was a family crisis, and I was getting depressed. I got really depressed around that time. What are you saying, that's the only thing I could possibly do is either live stream or do heroin? You know how stupid that sounds? You know how fucking stupid that sounds? I didn't put the hat in the background on purpose. I usually have my phone right here, you dip. I have nowhere else to put it. I'll do whatever I frickin' want. You don't tell me what to do. If you're triggered, then sorry, not sorry. Dear Lord. It's like you can't win with these people. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't, It's like once they know I have the hat, you'll have people saying, why are you hiding the hat now? Are you ashamed? And then you'll have people being like, oh my gosh, you have a hat in the background. Oh, save us all. And it's like, dear fuck, dude, panic on the Titanic. Get a grip. Seriously. And you got anything better to do? A lot of people voted for Trump. And you know what? I'm disappointed in him. I'll say it. I'm very disappointed in him with how he's handled the Epstein files. That's that. I'm disappointed in how he's handled the Epstein files. You see, I'm not like some of you guys where it's like ride or die. You know, ride or die, no matter what they do, I'm going to stand by them. I'm able to admit when I'm wrong or duped. The thing is, I'm not going to be hard on myself for being duped, because he ran for president with the promise that he would expose these guys, that he would release the files. Kamala never mentioned anything. And that's probably because, or it is because, a lot of people on her side are mentioned in the files, if not completely involved. Not just mentioned, just, you know, they have some skeletons. Yeah. I've never heard one Democrat talk about how depraved Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton is. Never. Or anyone on their side. No, they don't care about like the homeless situation being like 25% of the country where Gavin Newsom happens to be the governor. You know, they don't care about that. Anyway, I didn't come here to talk about politics right now. But we have morons getting triggered over a little hat in the background. It's like, whatever. I don't care. I don't care what you think. I don't know you. You don't know me. Stupid. God, I got like hair in my face. My hair's all weird. Oh man, there's always that little hair getting in the way. There we go. Lots of idiots in this chat. God bless them. Yeah, I know, right? People often try new things because they think it'll be good or others tell them it's good. Most of the time it's not terrible, but it can be. Right, exactly. And I was a very naive, miserable person. You know, it's not an excuse, it's just those were the circumstances, you know? I know if I were in my better state of mind, and it was just a really bad time for that shit to be offered to me. It shouldn't ever be offered to anyone, but it is. It happens, you know? Someone I liked and trusted. My stepdaughter was addicted to meth. She's clean over 4 years now, thank God. Absolutely. There you go, Jim. And I'm proud of your stepdaughter. I am so proud of your stepdaughter. I don't know who she is, but I'm proud of her. Because she proves to the world, to these fools, that we do recover. That there is hope, that we do recover, that life gets better, that we're not lost, that we're not hopeless. We're not going to be miserable for the rest of our lives. In fact, it gets way better. And I'm using the success of 3 years and 4.5 months to try to help other people, and it will try to inspire other people who are dealing with similar circumstances. Because you know what, I found that recovery content really inspired and helped me early in my recovery, and I read comments saying we need more of this. So I had that light bulb moment. I thought, well, you know, maybe I should do this. Maybe it would help me. Maybe it would hold me to account, or you know, hold me accountable. Maybe, you know. Because if I go off and use, I'm going to lose all credibility with you guys. I don't even crave it regardless. Even if that wasn't, you know, hanging on, you know, even if I wasn't having that as a concern, which, you know, I don't even need to be concerned because I'm not even craving it. You know, I don't have to, like, painfully resist temptation. Of course, there will be temptation. Just because I'm not having them now doesn't mean there won't be. But I really, you know, I had basically a brief thought of it when my mom was in the hospital and things were really bad around here, and then I was able to come to my senses pretty quickly. So I'm happy about that. And I'm happy I realized that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. Am I an atheist? No, I'm Catholic. I know I've said this before, but it's so important. I'm proud of you. Your sobriety gives me hope. Iron sharpens iron. It's not always easy, but it's sure hell worth the effort. You see, guys? Absolutely. Thank you, David. 100%. Abso-fucking-lutely. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know? Not only that, but I'm beholden to some people, you know? It's like I would never want to fail my loved ones, fail my baby boy here, fail my dog. Hi, baby. Hey, honey, you okay? My baby. Look at him. Look at my baby boy. You're just sitting up. Oh, careful around the cords, though, hon. I don't want you knocking it down and shit. Oh, baby boy. It's okay. It's okay. You just rest your paws. Oh, my goodness. What a baby. He's just a sweetheart. Can you hear the drums, Fernando? Probably not. Fernando's an idiot. Fernando, do you see your bear? So many sad Americans on live. Sad to watch. Well, I think, you know, they probably hate Americans. They hate America. Some of these people. Some of these people really want for us to be communists, just like Cuba. Like what's happening in New York. You know? It's unbelievable. Check something on my computer. Panic on the Titanic. Nice. That's the truth, and lots of miserable people that just want to feed off of making people who are doing better for themselves miserable. Exactly. I don't know why some people are so spiteful and full of contempt for others. So I think that one of the ugliest of human emotions of all time is jealousy, and we all experience it to a certain extent. We all get jealous from time to time, right? I've gotten jealous. You've gotten jealous. We've all gotten jealous. But I can't stand people who are like chronically jealous. Not only that, but like mothers who are jealous of their own daughters is the most disgusting to me, because I actually have first-hand experience with that. I can do Popeye. But it's like, you know what I hate? Mothers who wear white at their daughters' weddings. That type of deal. People, you know, people who have to ruin someone else's special moment. You know? Like if I have a friend or a special, like a relative or someone getting married, or like just as an example, I'm gonna be like, and I'm gonna be wearing the most subdued outfit I can find. I want her to shine. I don't know, anything but white. And well, not anything. I wouldn't even wear beige. I wouldn't wear butter yellow. I don't know. Maybe butter yellow is fine. I'm not sure. But no beige, no light gray, nothing light, nothing close to white. That was random. It's like jealous, nasty, spiteful people. Don't like them. How many pigeons would it take for you to figure out people were putting them in your house? Trump is the only answer to the woke virus. I think he's doing a lot of really good things. I'm just disappointed with the Epstein files. You know, I think he's doing a really good job at the border, for example. But I am really disappointed in the Epstein files. I had hopes, and he promised more than what he's given. So I'm starting to wonder, you know, what is it like? There's no way for me to really know what the answers are, what all the answers are, but one can only wonder and speculate. And I'm wondering if maybe, like, I know the CIA is involved, and I'm wondering if, like, they're threatening his family. Very possible, I think. So it's like, you know, when your family is involved, if your family gets threatened, if you get blackmailed, like, You know, circumstances, situations change, you know. So I don't know, like, how harshly I should judge it, but it's like, some of it I just think was inexcusable. All the redactions, I don't think that they were necessary. Why are there so many fucking redactions? Yeah, and not only that, but this whole thing of like Bohemian Grove and like all these corrupt, depraved elites, the rituals and shit, you know, this has been going back like for presidencies or so, if not more. So it's definitely not just like one person. This is something that's been going on for generations. It's crazy. I'm not like, I have hope for Trump, but I'm disappointed with the files, you know, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's good to be critical. I think it's good to not be a ride or die, like, no matter what the person on my side does, I'm gonna stand with him. You know, it's like, if he was actually, if it turns out that he was like Epstein, which I don't think he was at all. No, I don't think so. And if you look in the files, and Trump's mentioned, they're trying to blackmail Trump. They're discussing blackmailing Trump because he's trying to expose them. I think that Trump is totally against their shit and not part. I don't think he's part of it. Of course, he's seen in photos because Epstein hung out with a lot of socialites and a lot of rich people, a lot of businessmen and women, and so on and so forth. That doesn't implement them in crimes specifically. I think we should be focusing on Bill Gates as well. I think he should be in prison for the rest of his life. In fact, hell, man, I think firing squad shit. I don't know. I'm just gonna say it's alleged, but that devil, I think he's committing crimes against humanity. I think it goes way beyond trafficking, beyond SA. It goes like, that guy needs to be investigated. I'm not even fucking kidding. That guy needs to be investigated. It's nice to hear people who speak hope in the world. Well, thank you. Well, in the end, you know, that's really all you have, other than your name, other than meaning your word, meaning, like, you know, I'm not gonna try to deceive anyone or, you know, lie about things, lie about myself and all that, because my word is I keep my word, because in the end, that's all I have. Meaning, if I don't keep my word, then no one will trust me anymore. You know, that's just the way it goes. So there's just sometimes you gotta ask yourself, is it worth it? Like, is it worth losing everything doing drugs? Because a lot of deception comes out of doing drugs. I've lied a lot when I did drugs. I was lucky enough to not steal, but I lied a lot. You are a powerhouse, Annie. Thank you, RK. Do you think you're not craving because the Suboxone's holding you back? You know, I forget to even take my Suboxone because I don't even crave that. I only take that to not be sick. You know, once I start to feel symptoms of withdrawal and sickness, then I take a little tiny piece just to, make all those symptoms subside. But I don't really, it gets to a point, I'm weaning down really, really nicely, I'm gonna be off that stuff eventually, and I honestly don't think I'm gonna crave the H. I might smoke some weed to prevent drug dreams, because those are dangerous. I think drug dreams are more dangerous. But yeah, I don't think it's preventing, it's sure, that's why I'm taking it. initially, at least to prevent cravings. But once I'm off that stuff, I think it'll be okay. I'm pretty sure, because I have my head screwed on in the right place. I don't feel no like resistance. And you know what? Even when I was taking Suboxone in like 2021, I still relapsed on the age. You know, I let myself get to a point where I got dope sick from the Suboxone, and I started relapsing on the H again at one point. That was in 2021. So I mean, even with the Suboxone, if I still have my head set on like how like heroin, and I'm still like balls deep in that shit, then like it's a state of mind. It's really a lot of it is mental, which is why you can overcome it. And you need to let yourself heal. You don't look like you've been up for a day at all. You look completely sober. Well, yeah, because I am completely sober. Yes, you are a lot stronger, and there's something very satisfying and very gratifying about getting stronger and stronger, you know, and working out, exercise is really helpful. Being creative, expanding your mind, learning new things, because the brain craves novelty, and that all ties in with dopamine and opioid receptors. Doing it the right way. You are clean now, so that's good. Yes, thank you. I have a daughter, though, and I feel like a constant disappointment to her, and I'm trying my absolute best. I've heard a lot of parents talk that way, speak that way about, like, their experiences with parenting. I'm not a parent myself, but the fact that you care says a lot. There's some parents who totally neglect their kids, and you don't seem like that type of person. I'm sure a lot of parents feel like they're disappointments when they're not. And if I had to guess, I don't think you're a disappointment. I don't know the circumstances, but the fact that you care and all, I mean, we can't be perfect. That's the thing. I don't know your daughter. I don't know, like, how old she is or what stage she's going through or whatnot, but I wish you guys both the best. You seem like a good person to me. How's my mom? She seems to be doing all right. I have 31 years clean. In just a few weeks ago, I was having a real hard time in my recovery, but between listening to this channel and keeping in contact with a higher power, I survived it. Robert, dude, my God, man, thank you very much, dude. That means a lot to me. That really does mean a lot to me. 31 years, wow. That's like, that's half my life. Or that's not even what am I saying? I'm not 60. That's almost my entire lifespan, dude. That's almost my entire lifetime so far. That's crazy. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. I'm glad you're here. And thank you. I'm really glad that my content is helping. You see, we show people that we're not just here to fuck around. We're here to talk about, loving yourself and getting better, and not succumbing to a substance that's ultimately going to ruin our lives. Ultimately, that's what it's going to do. It's going to ruin our lives. I'm doing good, thank you. Thoughts on emotional sobriety? I've never heard of it that way. Let me look it up. Huh. Emotional sobriety. AA. It is an AA term. Emotional sobriety is the ability to experience the full spectrum of human emotions without relying on substances or destructive behaviors to numb, escape, or alter them. Okay, yeah, I'm totally experienced with that, man. That's definitely something I had to practice, overcome, deal with when especially early on in my recovery. It's probably the hardest part in the end, because 2 times I relapsed after a month of being clean. It was always after 1 month, and then I'd start to get really bad cravings. That was the most dangerous point. That's when all the boredom and anxiety would set in. And it was really hard living with my feelings. Your emotions, since basically since the emotional part of your brain and everything has been laying a little bit dormant, it all comes back full sway, and you're just always crying over little things, and you gotta realize that that's normal. We women deal with that shit all the time during our periods. Suddenly we have this surge of unexplainable emotions. Don't want to talk to anybody. That's kind of similar. It's like you get all these emotions just coming right out, and it's really hard. I think that's hard for women, but I can only imagine how hard that is for guys when society tells men that they can't be emotional. That's a side effect of getting clean. You're purging the demons, if you will. you're purging all those bad chemicals out of your body. It's a cleansing process, and that's part of it. So you got to embrace the emotions. You have to embrace the crying. It's gonna happen. You got to accept it and get over it, because it takes great strength to get over that hurdle, especially when your ego struggles to accept getting emotional. You got to understand that it takes strength to overcome that flood of emotions. It really is. It's a worthy feat. My boyfriend keeps looking. Wait, 1 sec. My boyfriend keeps looking at another girl when we're together. I've asked him to stop many times, but he won't. I'm leaving him, but now I can't stop comparing myself to her. How do I stop? Fuck her. Actually, I don't know her deal, but I know exactly how you feel. My ex-boyfriend, it got to a point where every time we'd go out, he'd compare me to other girls on the street. He'd say that girl's skinnier than you, because he liked really skinny chicks. And I was 110 pounds or so, somewhere around that. He would say her legs are skinnier than yours, or she's more exotic looking than you, constantly. It got to a point, like, at first we'd have really nice outings, lovely outings, very nice, and then all of a sudden, every time we'd go out, he was just always looking for someone to compare me to, because he could see my reaction and how much it bothered me. I wouldn't say anything to him, or talk back, or anything, I wouldn't, start an argument over it in public, but I was hurt, visibly hurt, and he'd keep doing that, because he probably wanted a reaction. A bigger reaction. It hurts. But don't let her take up any space in your head. Don't let her live rent free in your head. Okay? She's not worth it, and he's not worth it. You should leave him. Don't make the same mistake I did and stay with a man who does nothing but try to hurt you and make you feel bad about yourself. You're strong enough. I think you are. I don't know you, but I think based on what you've told me, I think you can find the strength within yourself to leave him, because you deserve better. Okay? You deserve way better than that. No matter what the circumstances are, you don't deserve that. I hate that. So yes. I think you can leave him, take some time to heal, bond with friends and family, people who have your back, and know that you deserve way better and you shouldn't accept anything less. No matter how long it takes to find another partner. Whoa, shit, no, what are you doing? Dude, what the hell? You don't deserve that. Don't accept anything less. Honey bear, what are you doing? She's just like, wah! Bulldozing me across the room, man. Sheesh, Louise. I don't want to run over my cords, baby. Honey bear. That was funny, actually. It's okay, rest, honey. It is time for bed. It's like almost 10. Thank you, Paul. Love you guys. How are you doing today, Tangent? Just wanted to ask what matter Daddy is. I do not know, man. But yeah, quiet viewer. I think you should find the strength within yourself to leave him. Also, unless you, I don't know if you have or you haven't. Back in 2013 or 14, 15, when I was dealing with this shit with my ex, people weren't talking about narcissism, love bombing, and all these other traits that certain, like, you know, sociopaths have or whatever. But yeah, if you haven't, look into what love bombing is, because I wish I would have known. I wish someone would have educated me on what love bombing is, because that's how my boyfriend reeled me back in every time. And I was fooled by that shit. There was one time, I remember the first time I tried to leave him. It was really early in our relationship too, maybe after 1 year. And I was in theater class, and I remember him coming up to the door, just like whining and asking me to come out, and just like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again, I love you, I love you, I love you, blah 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 fucking blah. And I was fooled by it, man. I fell for it. I fucking fell for it, and I fell for it probably 10 times. You know, I kept forgiving that fudger, and it wasted a lot of my time. It hurt me a lot. I could have probably found someone who actually, you know, who was actually good for me in my life, if I didn't spend all that time dealing with that. And then after that, you know, living on my own for a short period, then living with my grandma, and then, you know, going to college. And then while I'm, you know, into my first semester, my grandma passes away, and I moved 3 times. And then after that, moving into student housing, inviting the wrong people in my house, and getting on drugs, and then that prevented me from meeting anyone, because I'm in the drug scene now, and I'm not gonna meet the love of my life while I'm in this situation. So obviously, I mean, there's some people who would think it a deal breaker to, you know, consider a second date with me if they knew that I had done any heroin at all at any point in my life. I know I've compromised my selection, my potential to meet some men that I might like, but they might, you know, think, you know what, I know that there are too many cases where people do re-up. Some people do think that. Some people probably look at me and they think, yeah, just because I've used for 6 years, that, you know, it's just waiting for you, you know. Someone actually said that to me. But it was all because they were triggered by me being a Trump supporter. So we can't take them seriously. But yeah, my point is that there are people who think that. Screw them. You do what you know is right and what's going to make your life better. Don't let anyone love bomb you or reel you back into a situation where you're being treated like the way I was treated, like garbage. So many people act like they're sober off of meth, but they're high when they're talking to you. I didn't know too many people on meth, but I've seen people tweaking out a lot. Yeah, I mean, even Keith Richards wouldn't touch meth. I'm glad I never got into that. Do I pray to the candle? No. It'd be nice to have a candle in here, but it's just, there's no room for it. I'm worried Shanda might knock it down and cause a house fire. Sometimes I have a little candle on my bedside table. That's fine. I have this painting of Our Lady and baby Jesus. It's, this was a baptism present. Oh, good. I was able to do that with ease. Okay. Tonight is a good night for this channel. Thank you, Meet the Sea. It is. I was working all week. So boring. But tonight, we're gonna party all night because it's Friday night. You guys remember that? You guys ever see that? That was so funny. I said it all wrong, but that's so hilarious. I like Jewish people. I think there are good and bad people in the world. Doesn't matter. You could be pink with purple polka dots. I don't give a shit. If you're a good person, that's good. If you're a bad person, get away. If you're a bad person, you're fired or you're going to jail. And I'm Catholic, you know, and I've realized that a lot of Catholics like Jewish people, you know. But I always found Jewish men attractive too. Yeah, there are Democrats and Republicans trying to prevent the files from being released. You know, there are some Republicans and Democrats who do not have our best interests at heart, and they want to keep themselves richer while keeping us stupid and poor. But I don't believe that that's who Trump is. I think he's having a hard time with, you know, trying to get certain things done with, you know, everybody against him and trying to stop him, or not everybody, but you know, some really powerful people. I don't know all the ins and outs of the situation. I wish I did. I don't think anybody does. Yeah, I'm proud of my jawline. Don't care. That's another thing I've considered. Meet the Sea. Epstein files. Look, the world we function in would collapse if all the info was released. That's another thing I considered as to why Trump has taken a step back and is trying to, like, proceed with kid gloves and not, like, I hate all the redactions. I think that's a joke. But at the same time, there could be, like, national security shit in there, CIA crap, you know. There's powerful people involved. And yeah, I mean, it could totally destroy the government. It could destroy the whole system as we speak. It really, yeah, that's a big one. Absolutely, I agree, 100%. But if there's any system that's involved in trafficking and harming children, then I believe wholeheartedly that system needs to be dismantled and rebuilt. We should not tolerate that. And we should also know the truth. I don't know. I mean, some things I understand, we just, it's too dangerous. But gosh, I guess I'll never know for certain. I don't think any of us will. But it was, you know, we were promised. That's the thing. But yeah, maybe when he looked into them, he's like, oh, fuck, you know, this is worse than I thought. I don't know. You know what, Lance Cameron, I'm just gonna block you. I'm not high at all. What are you talking about? You're high as fuck right now. Stop gaslighting these people. You know, go to hell. Go to hell. I'm not high one bit. What an asshole. Annie, just know you're lovable. Thank you, RK. In the end, I have my kids. Yeah, and I would like to have kids one of these days too. That's a good thing. Far away from the drugs. I don't even want to be on Suboxone. You know. That's awesome. Just reminding people to stay hydrated. Oh yeah. Good reminder. I don't look or appear high at all. What an asshole. Trump and team are doing a slow drip of truths. Yeah. And you know, that might be just because they gotta be so careful, which is, yeah, well, obviously they gotta be so careful. So maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. But yeah, there's one comment he made though that I didn't like. It was like, people are still talking about these Epstein files? That creep? Which, granted, he did call him a creep, but that's putting it fairly lightly. Epstein's more than a creep. He is, he's like fucking, he's like the devil. Yeah, I get it. Like but he was kind of poo-pooing it. He was like shoving it to the side, like, oh, you guys are still concerned about that? Really? Come on, we're focusing on all this stuff, and you guys want to talk about that? I didn't like that. Because he ran his campaign promising to release the files. They do matter. The voices of these victims and their truth matters. The fact that we have so many powerful people running this world, not just the country, the whole fucking world, involved in this depravity matters. But yeah, that's why, I mean, there's a lot of crap, there's a lot of blackmail, there's a lot of dangerous shit in there, so he has to be careful. I get that. But I didn't like his comment there. I didn't like that comment. It sounded like he was being very dismissive, which was it's disappointing to me, because I like Trump. I do. I voted for him. I like Trump. But it's disappointing when you know, when I hear shit like that. Yeah, fatherlessness is never a good thing. Also, you have a lot of millennials who live like they want to be kids again. Rather than passing on the torch to another generation and having their own kids, you got a lot of millennials just deciding to just stay single and live like children themselves. Which I think is, you know, people can do whatever they want with their lives, but ultimately enough people do that, it's going to have an effect. For sure. I'll let some of these trolls. I was thinking about blocking them, but they're giving me engagement. Fuck them. Earth's atmosphere extends just past the moon. We just learned this like 10 years ago. Wow. Shit. Earth's atmosphere extends past the moon. That's interesting. I never knew that. No one told me that. Let me look that up. That's fascinating. I was always given a different impression of what that looked like. Interesting. Learn something new every day. Let's see. Does Earth's atmosphere reach the moon? Yes. The outermost layer of Earth's atmosphere, the geocorona, extends roughly 391,000 miles into space. This means it stretches well beyond the moon's average orbit of 238,855 miles. However, this region is an extremely sparse cloud of hydrogen gas, averaging only about 0.2 atoms per cubic centimeter at the moon's distance. For context, this is a nearly perfect vacuum compared to the air we breathe. Additionally, scientific research confirms that the Earth's magnetic field acts as a cosmic conveyor belt, continuously transporting volatile atmospheric elements like oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen to the lunar surface. These particles have become embedded in lunar soil over billions of years. That's so cool. That's really cool. Why does this person think I'm AI? People just losing their minds. You need a good holiday and loads of fun. You're telling me, man. You betcha I do. You betcha. I haven't gone on a vacation in years. I would love to do that. Shit. I would love to go backpacking in the wilderness. Gotta take my dog though. So I'd love to go camping with my dog. Maybe not backpacking for a few days because Shando, but I would love to go hiking, go camping. I think he'd be okay. In fact, he'd probably protect me, but probably wouldn't do it for a week or two like I used to. I miss it when I used to go backpacking. That was fun. Am I weightlifting? I have dumbbells, but I haven't been lifting weights like I should. I should do that. But I still have my muscles, but it would be so depressing and just sad if because of not doing that, not working out enough, I were to lose them. That would suck ass. So I should be lifting dumbbells. Annie, your story is one of strength, courage, and hope. Well, thank you, RK. I appreciate you, man. When life becomes too comfortable, people begin to lose their sense of aliveness. They start yearning for freedom, danger, and intensity that lie beyond the safety of domesticated existence. That's true. With me, it's sometimes hard to sit with my thoughts alone. When I lived in an apartment alone, and I was trying to stay off heroin before I relapsed, and I was dealing with the alcohol issue, I'd go to work at the cafe, and I'd go back home to my apartment all alone, no one there. And there was just this emptiness, there was this boredom, followed by a sense of absolute restlessness. And I had to go to the nearest dive bar to get drunk as fuck, because I was not able to live with my thoughts and feelings at that time. At that time, you know what I should have done? I should have had someone to talk to. I should have had a good therapist, counselor there anytime I needed them. I should have, I shouldn't have lived alone in that part of town at that time. I was not ready. And you need to have a good sense for whether you're ready or not, because that is important. You have to be ready. to be on your own, to be independent without, you know, the worry of relapsing. It's dangerous. It's a slippery slope. And when you're that raw and fresh in your recovery, it's not good to be alone. Loneliness is a big part of it. Hello, I wish a device would be invented like a habit remover that would get us rid of these habits. I know, right? You'd think we'd have something to target that part of the brain. I know some people do like electroshock therapy and shit, but even that has its downsides too. I've heard different accounts. There is this like doctor YouTube channel where this doctor is actually promoting electric shock therapy. Bzz! You know, they're promoting that shit, saying it helps so many people and like saves lives. That's like I think that's a last resort if it has to exist, for one thing. But there were people saying in the comments correcting him, being all like, you know what, that fucked my sister up. It destroys your memories and turns you into a shell of your former self, like lobotomy, but not as barbaric, seemingly, as a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest type of deal. But it is, you know, same idea. It's very disturbing. Family is meant to be a shelter from the storm, but sometimes it can be the storm itself. You're damn right about that, man. Can I show you one painting? I'd be happy to, Mike. Here, I'll show you one I'm working on, and I'll show you one of my favorites, that a painting of my best friend here. And I can show you a watercolor too, because I do watercolors. This is the one of Christ that I'm working on. Oil on panel. Liking how that's turning out. Still working on that. It's almost done. And I have this paint. Ooh, it's still left to that paint. It's a little bit. And then I have this painting of my best friend Adrian. Ooh, a little more light on that for you. Like that. See? It's a painting of, he passed away, but he was a good guy. And it's oil on panel. Let's see if you can see better. There we go. Alright, let me see. Show you something else here. That's definitely one of my favorites that I've made. Here's a painting of John Steinbeck, my favorite author of all time. Oops, there we go. I did this one at my grandma's house, so it means a lot to me. And I know exactly how much time I spent on it. I worked from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on this thing, non-stop. I enjoyed it so much. John Steinbeck, charcoal and watercolor. So those are just some of my paintings. I got some others. The room's too much of a mess right now to get it out, and I don't want to move stuff at the moment. So yeah. Woohoo! Dropping stuff. Sorry. Hey. Thank you for the star. Okay, sorry guys, I'm really behind. Whoop, God bless. I pray you overcome, and God please be with everyone this stream reaches, and watch and help us through our struggles. Amen. Thank you very much, Land P Bible. There's no emotion, there's peace. There's no ignorance, there's knowledge. There's no chaos, there's serenity. There's no death, there's the force. There you go. That's what's up. Thank you for the gift, Sazy. Thank you very much. Yeah, yeah, my ex was pretty bad. Yeah. Don't like bringing him up, but that seemed like an appropriate time to, try to encourage someone who was going through the same shit I was going through. You're worth more than that. You don't deserve to be treated like that. No one does. Like someone, like a girl's boyfriend, or husband, comparing them to other women and making them feel bad about their appearance like that, or just their capabilities in general, putting them down constantly, comparing them all the time. It feels like almost like it might be the equivalent, like, if it's the other way around, if a girl does that sort of thing to a guy, like it's like the equivalent of like a woman humiliating a guy based on his height or his package size in public or whatever. It's just so nasty. It makes you feel so bad about yourself. It makes you feel so worthless. You don't deserve that. No one does. You are lovable, Annie, and deserve someone that treats you with kindness and respect. Thank you, RK. We all do, though. We all deserve to be loved and cherished and treated with respect. Granted, if we're not terrible people, Pray for anyone living rent-free in your head to evict them. Love and bless your enemies. It's the closest to heaven they ever gonna see. There you go. Who's my favorite singer? Oh man, that's hard to say. That's really hard for me to say, man. There's so many good singers. I'd have to think about that. I like Elton John. It depends on my mood. But I really like Elton John. I like the Stones. I like Creedence Clearwater Revival. I like the Hollies. I like Tom Waits from the 70s. The Beatles, of course. John Lennon. John Lennon might be my favorite singer, actually. I like John Lennon. Let's see. I like a lot of 90s music. I like hip-hop. I like classical. I like rock. I like a lot of... I have a very diverse taste in music. It depends on my mood. But as far as singers go, I really like John Lennon and I like Elton John. My ex did the same thing to me, and now I think she does the same to our daughter. It's really horrifying, man. People like that. I'm sorry, dude. That's twisted. When parents try to poison their spouse against their kid, that's just so messed up. I'm sorry you're going through that. I'm really sorry. I get it. I get it. How and when do you go through withdrawals? Well, once you quit doing something like heroin, unless you get yourself another hit, if you just stop using altogether, withdrawal symptoms are gonna come around. I forget exactly how much time, but within a few hours, within several hours, you're gonna start to feel it. If you used it in the morning, you're gonna start to feel withdrawal by dinner time. If you were as deep in that shit as I was at that time, when I went through withdrawal, I started to feel symptoms after, like, between breakfast and dinner time, like that length of time. And how? Yeah, I just stopped using. I surrendered to recovery. I decided to go through the cure, and I did. And I knew how long it was going to take approximately. At least I knew what was in store for me there, as opposed to the alcohol withdrawal I dealt with. I had no idea what I was going through there. Not only that, but that can actually kill you. But I knew, with heroin withdrawal, you might want to make sure you're in a safe place, because there are people who will hurt themselves to distract themselves from that unlocalized heroin withdrawal, bone deep pain. You know, I had a friend who went through cold turkey in prison, and he bashed his head against the stone floor, and he made his head all bloody. He could have killed himself, and he did that to distract from the pain. It's miserable, but if you can get through it, it's not going to kill you. You'll become stronger from it, but just know it's non-stop misery for at least 3 days, and then it subsides day by day after that. After a week, you're over the worst of it, but then as the days go on, you're going to have to deal with the boredom and anxiety which comes with it, and that can be even more dangerous. That's when you need a good counselor. That's when you need a comfortable, cozy, wholesome environment with, you know, like if you have no appetite for eating anything, make sure you have, like, the only thing I was able to eat was applesauce. And I got down to like 97 pounds. Like, all I could eat was applesauce. It was bad. But yeah, just stock yourself up with what you think you'll need at a time like that, you know, and think, you know, even if you don't think you need certain things, get them. If you know, like, nutrition is very important. Make sure that you almost have to force yourself to eat sometimes. It's important. Stay hydrated. Get an extra stocking of pillows and sheets, or pillowcases and sheets, to replace those, because you're going to need to. You're going to need to replace your sheets probably every day. You're probably not going to do it though, because you're not going to feel like it. You're going to be, you know, you're going to sweat through like 5 layers of sheets, and you're going to probably decide to sleep in that because you don't have enough energy to replace them. That's just something you got to get through. If you're going through heroin withdrawal, you got to get through it, no matter how miserable it is, knowing that it's gonna be over. That's why Suboxone's so important for, you know, for that sort of thing for some people. I went full-blown cold turkey, and then after the worst of it was done, we went to the clinic to get me Suboxone just to counter the cravings. But yeah, I mean, it's important to have resources at hand, and do your research on what resources you may need, and get them whether you think you need them or not, because you just might need them. You might want them. You know, it's going to be hard to eat anything, so like tomato soup. Get tomato soup, get some ice cream. You know, treat yourself to some ice cream. A lot of people say that when they go through heroin withdrawal, they get ice cream. Yeah, fuck Steve. What would you do if you had a child with your husband and then he denied the child because of his new girl that he left you for, tells him to for her kids? Wait, sorry, I gotta reread that. What would you do if you had a child with your husband and then he denied the child because of his new girl that he left you for, tells him to for her kids? Sorry, man, it's... Okay, I think I know what you're saying. It sounds like he's just a crappy person altogether, and I would leave with my kid. I wouldn't want my kid around that. But I've never had an experience like that, so I couldn't really tell you how I'd react, if I'm understanding this comment correctly. Yeah, well, drinking can lead to a lot of problems like that, man. I mean, when I got blackout drunk, I could have woken up in a prison easily. There were several incidents where there was like public intoxication One time I was running around butt naked. You know, it's like, shit, I could have been in prison, dude. I'm lucky in that sense. I don't know, maybe it was like white girl privilege, I'm not sure. Which doesn't sound good, but I'm usually pretty just, you know, polite by nature too. You know, I don't give people problems. I'm very cooperative. Like one time the police did call my dad to pick me up. I don't remember any of this because this is all like my dad told me all about it, but he told me that when he got there I was just flirting with the cops like crazy, which was funny on one hand, but okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. I know what you're thinking. Did I lose friends on H? You know, I didn't. I didn't lose friends because of H. I withdrew myself from people I knew, but I didn't lose my friends because of H, but I did lose a lot of friends when I said I voted for Trump. I lost a lot of friends and I lost a family member, and she was just a piece of work. She was interrogating each and every family member and each and every person in my family to see if they voted for Trump, and if they didn't say anything, if they stayed silent, she said, though, that's evidence of your guilt, and I'm gonna, and she ostracized them. Like, just nasty work right there. But yeah, I've lost friends over my voting for Trump, but I didn't with the heroin addiction. I don't think so. You seem cooler than the water in a swimming pool. Thanks. And by the way, I wasn't talking about you, Steve. I was talking about the other Steve. Both your smile and your way of speaking win hearts. Oh, thank you. It would truly be a joy to become friends with such a wonderful people. Mr. Dev India. Well, thank you very much. Hello, unhappy. One more day being sober. I lost count, but I think it's rapidly approaching 4 months off Xanax. Oh, good for you, Xanax, man. That stuff's wild. I'm really glad for you. That's a big deal for you. That's truly a big deal. I don't know what Xanax withdrawal feels like, but I've heard it's pretty rough. So good on you, man. You're doing the right thing. I look like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. My dog looks like Scooby-Doo. We should cosplay, shouldn't we? I should be Shaggy for Halloween and Shando can be Scoobs. Oh, he's over there. Honey Bear, let me turn on this light here so you can see him. You see, my dog looks like Scooby-Doo. My baby, I know. Yeah, Shando looks like Scooby-Doo. Yeah, bad people do suck, and they'll always exist, unfortunately. Old coffee, God loves you just the way you are, but he loves you too much to leave you how you are and where you are. I don't randomly give people moderator privileges without seeing them on my channel for a period of time, because I've made a rash decision of letting someone be my mod once, and they tried to sabotage my channel when they found about like my support of Trump and all that. You know, there are people like that, unfortunately. So I gotta be careful. Maybe if I see you on my channel more often and I can kind of gauge that you're, you know, that you have good intentions, we'll, you know, discuss it at a different point in time. You know, it's something I might reconsider. But not right now. My friend suggested me to watch Human Centipede with my family, and he said it was a family good movie. God damn it, dude. Watch the trailer on YouTube, and you'll have a good idea. I think you know what that is. That's the grossest fucking movie. It's not even scary per se. It's just so nasty. It's just like it gives you this visceral sense of ick. Like it's sickening. It's a revolting movie. I could not get through it. I couldn't even get through that movie. And I usually have a strong stomach for these things. I love horror movies. I watched the Saw movies. Even those were a little bit hard for me though, the bones cracking and all that. But that Human Centipede was just plain gross. You know, if you're gonna, XD or XO, you are spamming me, and there's no way in hell that I'm gonna add you as a mod. No way in fucking hell. Every man is a sinner, and God has put everything under the control of sin, so no man can boast. We are all equally flawed. Amen. I wouldn't suggest Human Centipede, but if you're into that thing, yeah, okay. The world is becoming a third world. I gotta be careful about what I say on YouTube, you know. But yeah, we don't want to be commies. That's for sure. Now you're gonna start spamming me with your Human Centipede bullshit. Wow. You know what? Bye-bye. Actually, no, screw it. Screw it. If I keep seeing this damn comment, I will block you. I'll give you a warning. I don't usually give warnings to spammers when I get really annoyed, but this time I'm feeling generous. I'll give you a little warning. If you spam me, if any more Human Centipede shit, then you're getting blocked. You'd have gorgeous children. Oh, thank you. I am lucky I still have teeth. Fucking A. I used to have really perfect teeth too. Now the enamel's quite weakened with my bad habits. It's not worth it, guys. Well, not to mention a lot of the veins in my arms are all destroyed. I was surprised she was able to find a vein right. There's a vein right here. She was able to draw blood. Hey, brother Amine. How are you? Cash has been regularly announcing batches of kids that they've rescued. I need to look into this. I haven't been, I've been looking at, like, Epstein files shit, but I haven't been looking into the current news right now. I should do that. I'm always, like, worried it's going to be something bad, so I'm like, yeah. I kind of, like, avoid it for a moment before I go in and check it out. Thank you for the goat. Oh, that's so cute. Thank you, Taco. Thank you very much. God, this life can be so hard and confusing at times. Lord, have mercy on us. Ain't that the truth? Ashley, are you fucking serious? I can see your, like, avatar pic, and I'm surprised by these stupid comments you're coming up with. You're saying Epstein and Bill Clinton are peak human beings. Epstein has a wonderful personality. Like, what the fuck? You're full of it. You're absolutely full of it. Why would anyone want to... Oh, man, I hate that kind of comment. Why would anyone want to have children in this world? The world has been worse before, man. The world has been way worse. There have been worse circumstances to have kids. You don't give the next, breeding the next generation enough credit. It's about, improving our education system for one thing, but also raising our kids right. And I think a lot of millennials are doing a shitty job at raising their kids. I'm not saying all of them. There's some great parents out there these days. But, like, you got some pretty, lazy ass, entitled ass, acting like they're the kid when they should be taking care of a kid. Ugh. You know, I mean, I'd love to have kids someday, but I gotta meet the right man. A man? I don't need to meet just a man. I need to meet a man. Someone who makes me go, a man. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I got that from a movie. You are very beautiful. Don't listen to those who say otherwise. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really behind in this chat. My bad. What goes through people's minds when they try H for the first time? It's not like a joint or a bottle of beer. Well, that's the truth. It's not even close. Curiosity killed the cat. That's all I'm gonna say. Curiosity and not having the emotional energy to give a fuck about anything at that time. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. My boyfriend, his dad died from doing it. Well, I hope he rests in peace, man. You know, people, addicts deserve respect too. Now, a lot of addicts do some terrible things, and I can't blame their families from, you know, distancing themselves from people who, you know, like, there are some addicts who, intervention after intervention, rehab after rehab, family, and, you know, it's like the family's always trying to help them, and they keep failing, they keep stealing from the family, blah, 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 blah. And the family loses hope, and they just like, you know what? They become, they're run rugged, and they're just like, you know what? I gotta think of me now. I cannot be, you know, struggling and living my life for someone, trying so hard to help someone who doesn't want to be helped. That's the thing with heroin. You have to want it. You have to want help. That's the very first and foremost, most important thing in the beginning. Wanting help and knowing that you want help. You have to want it. No one else can want it for you. You know, I've relapsed even though, like, I had a lot of help because I didn't want to get clean at that time. And it may just lead to your demise. I'm lucky that I made it out of it, that I crawled up from rock bottom. But yeah, you have to want it. Make no mistake about that. Heroin and benzos are more pernicious because they're mild at first. Well, that's true too. That's why I said it's like a succubus that reels you in, that draws you in. It's very deceptive and sinister. It reels you in so slowly. You start out thinking, hey, this isn't so bad. I'll do it just once a week, or like maybe once a month. You know, it's only $20. I'll just do it once a week. I feel fine. You know, I can do this. It's not going to control me. That's what I said. And then it went from every other month to every week, and then every week to every other day, and then every other day went to every day, and then every day went to twice a day. And then it went to spending every fucking penny I made on that shit. It's no way to live. It went from being able to, you know, the honeymoon phase, I'm working on like 10 paintings at once in the studio, and I'm doing all kinds of things. I'm working and everything. No issue, like no one knew about it. And then once, you know, after that was over, and it happened to, you know, happen around the time I graduated. Like, it all started to go down. Actually, it really went downhill when I started injecting. But at a certain point, it got so bad that, like, I mean, once the honeymoon phase was over, I stopped doing my art. I stopped hanging out with people. I stopped doing things I loved. I worked just so I could make that money and buy my heroin. Everything just became heroin. If I found money on the street, it didn't go to my rent, it went straight to heroin. I just saw another hit right there. It's a slippery slope, and it always ends the same. Don't think that you're special. They don't whack you like a bunch of meth or alcohol will. You just feel cool and fine, and then gradually you become dependent. Precisely, and it ruins you, physically. It makes your teeth fall out, ruins your veins, rips you all up, superficially under the skin. I knew someone who had been on heroin for a few decades, and their veins and everything were so fucked in their arms, hands, feet, legs. Their ankles were so swollen and so puffy. Feet were fucking puffy and ugly as hell and purple permanently. Lots, like tons of varicose veins, just little tiny veins trying to make up for the lack of real, big veins. Fungal infections. Now this person had it really bad because they did heroin for so long and they never got clean from it. It does. If it's not gonna ruin you, just like, it'll distance you. It'll make you all alone, and it'll destroy your looks and destroy your mind. But you can get out of it. If you're still here, you're still breathing, and you still have those thoughts of, should I get clean? Then yes, you can get clean. I've never been to Sri Lanka. Why do people try it? It's not always a cut and dry thing. It's not black and white. People don't always fall into the same exact scenario. In fact, it's different from person to person. Some people, it's like their parents give it to them, even. Like, some people are like, stupid teenagers and their friend peer pressure. You never wake up one day and decide, like in the premeditated sense that you're going to go do that. Like I've said, and I mentioned it earlier in this live stream, I was dealing with a lot of shit before and after and during. A lot of stuff that would break a lot of people. And someone offered me heroin at the worst point in time in my life, and I said yes without even giving it a second thought. The anxiety was really tormenting me. And losing my grandma was really painful. And feeling lonely was very painful. And when my ex treated me was very painful. There are a lot of painful things going on. Stuff I'm not even going to mention here. It's like I needed an escape. I had an eating disorder. I had anorexia. That ravages the mind. There's no escape from that. You have to fight that your whole life. You think when you're younger and you have that thing, you realize you have it, that maybe you get better when you're older. No, you don't. You get better in the sense that you get stronger and you can fight it with education, nutrition education, focusing on fitness and health and nutrition. That's what helped me with that. But there were so many things I tried to escape. It's an escapism, is what it is. And there's some people who live in places where it's everywhere. And it's almost impossible to avoid. Being offered to you at some point. We live in a harsh world. Time for me to say goodnight. Much love to you, Annie. Peace and blessings. See you later. Take care, RK. If you're still here, I hope you have a good night. Thank you. Alcohol withdrawal can kill you and give you seizures. Well, yeah, that's true. I'm lucky to be alive. I'm just banning people. I've seen Train Spotting. I know what to do. Oh, well, don't forget the suppository. Yeah. That's a good movie. That's the best movie about that subject, I think. I like the cast, too. It's very well done. You can use Suboxone and taper the Suboxone down to nothing. You can pretty much skip the withdrawals. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Got a lot of ignoramuses here. This person, oh my gosh. This person Bumper said, oh no, not Bumper. God, he said oh yeah, normalizing Nutcracker said you don't need Suboxone, you need willpower of the mind. Like, sounds like a very ignorant person. And then after that he said applesauce. Like, what a disrespectful cunt. Got rid of him. I know, I shouldn't fade. It's also kind of unbecoming. You know, self-awareness will get you a long way in recovery too. You know, knowing you have a problem, being able to admit you have a problem. Meditation really helped me. Meditation, changing my environment and my relationships, nutrition and exercise, even smoking weed in the early stages because it prevented drug dreams. And playing video games really helped. Thank you, yes. Thank you for the 6-7, man. That's right, I like Trump. Wish the Epstein files were handled a little better, but maybe it won't be so bad in the end. I just feel like we should know more now, you know? But yeah, I like Trump. OMG, I love your streams. Thank you, Thatone. That's right. Yo, do you like hot dogs for the shape or flavor? Okay. You're cool and look good for your mid-40s. I'm not in my mid-40s. If you're trying to insult me, it's not working. I'm in my mid-30s. Jerk off. Hello, fellow Trumper. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Thank you. Unless you're talking to normalizing Nutcracker, I just banned him. Nutcracker's a nut. And what did you put on your face? It's incredible. I'm not wearing anything on my face today. No makeup, nothing. See? Absolutely nothing. I was just like, you know what, it's too late in the day, fuck it. But for me personally, like, I can just have a beer at 6 p.m. and it just makes my whole night a bit better since I don't really have a strong tolerance. Yeah, I mean, some people can handle that well, and beer's not really that. It's not the same as, like, hard liquor and all that. But yeah, I mean, some people handle it a lot better than others. I don't think alcohol should be, like, banned entirely or anything like that, but people should be aware of their tolerances and capacities. And, you know, there's just so much peer pressure and people who treat others like who don't want to partake like they're, you know, like they're missing out or like there's something wrong with them, you know. It's like, someone says, no, I can't drink, I don't want to drink, then let's stop treating them like they're weak or like they should, or just give them a mocktail or a tea or something. I don't care. It's just like let's. Everyone's different. We all have different chemistries. We should be a little more compassionate towards each other's needs and respect them. That's the thing. Respect other people's needs. Doesn't mean you have to cater to their needs. But if someone says, I can't, accept it. Someone says no, accept it and move on. Samantha says, you voted for Trump. No wonder you did, H. You see, they have no rational argument, no good questions, nothing. They just come in with the insults. Did you know that when I was a heroin addict, everyone I knew who did heroin hated Trump? We're talking Portland here. And also, guess what? 25% of the homeless issue is in California, where most people are liberal. Most of the drug problems are in Democrat-run states. So why don't you explain that, bitch? I'm here to try to help people out and try to inspire people to get clean. So screw you, Samantha. By the way, I know okay. Shout out to all the nice Samanthas out there, but every Samantha I've ever known has been just a terrible person. It's like, okay, I know it's just a coincidence, but my God. The most dangerous thing is seeking an exact same feeling and taking more for that. At that point, you got to decide whether keeping that or you'd be better off without it altogether. Yeah, and for a lot of addicts, it's the latter. You got to like abstinence. Sometimes you really got to bite the bullet. This is live, you dipshit. Zoink, Scoobs! Okay. Do I believe in werewolves? Nah. Hey, Alex, big game. Big game. I just bought a bunch of games. Yeah, I vape. Are we gonna compare that to heroin? Or cigarettes, for that matter? It's damage control. And I know it's not good. You're not telling me anything I don't know. You don't care about my well-being or my health. You only care about how it looks. You think it looks unbecoming. I know it's unbecoming. And I know it's unhealthy. But yeah, you're looking for a gotcha moment. You're just looking for a gotcha moment so that you can tell people that I'm not credible when I talk about recovery and habits and shit like that. Of course, I still have some bad habits, but it's nothing compared to what I used to be on and what I used to deal with. And my content here, genuinely, based on the comments and the feedback I've gotten, is helping people, and I'm proud of that. So go to hell. Got some nasty people here. Your face is stunningly beautiful. Thank you. I'll try to focus on only the nice people. Try switching with coconut oil or sesame oil for 10 minutes. It strengthens enamel. Thank you. I have that too. I'll look into that. In fact, I'll write that down. Thank you for the recommendation, man. Do a little look into that too. Do a little research. So what was the recommendation? Swish coconut oil or sesame oil. Okay. For 10 minutes, it strengthens enamel. Okay. I'll do coconut oil because I know it's healthier. And I have some. Swish, swish in mouth to strengthen enamel. Cool. Thank you. I love recommendations, guys. I love learning new useful things. Thank you. Why would you vote for Trump? You hate minorities? Who said I hate minorities? You see? You see what they do? They spread lies about you. Absolute lies. Trump has been helping minorities more than any president in my lifetime. He's done more for the black community than any president in my lifetime, pretending to. Now you're fucking full of it. I don't hate minorities. Now go to hell. Wow. Wow. This person's spreading all kinds of lies about me. You know what, Samantha? You're gone. You're not welcome here. Toodaloo. Bitch. Toodaloo, bitch. You're so gorgeous. Well, thank you. Half of us adults read at less than 6th grade level. That I've heard about that. It's one reason why I'm glad I was homeschooled. Raised on really good books. That's very important. You know, I know a lot of people can't write in cursive either, which isn't, you know, as bad, but I can write in cursive too. Most of us have some issue. We weren't raised ideally, but who's a perfect parent? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Precisely. Samantha thinks I'm 49. I just said I'm like 35. Meet the right man. You're 49. You need to hurry. Like, what a piece of shit. Okay. Her name is Samantha. Ergo, she's a woman. So I'm getting the impression that she's jealous. She's a jealous little hag. Or big. She's probably pretty big. She's a big old hag who's jealous and triggered. And that's sad. I'll bet she's such a self-absorbed narcissist that she thinks she's gonna live rent-free in my head all night, which she won't. For the first time, heroin feels incredibly amazing, but no one tells you that it's gonna quickly turn to something. Yeah, it's like a succubus. It's like a little devil. It lures you in, looking all attractive, but then it rears its ugly head the moment, you know, it's like when you least expect it. You have nice eyes. Thank you, Mr. Frog. Yeah, heroin is like the devil. It is. Yes, it's a Make America MAGA hat behind me. How do you know? You got me. Busted. You look like one of those attractive action movie stars I grew up on 100%. Well, thank you very much. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's probably what was, you know, Samantha was triggered by me supporting Trump, but, you know, she's also a jealous hag because she twice said I'm like 49 when I'm 35, and that, like, when I said you know, I like to find a good man, she's like, yeah, right, like, you're 49, better hurry up. Like, what a bitch. What a terrible person. She probably still watches Ellen DeGeneres reruns, and she's probably like one of those old ladies who's obsessed with Dory. So nothing Ellen DeGeneres does will ever be bad in her eyes because she loves Dory so much. Sorry, I'm just making up a whole ass scenario in my head based on how I envision Samantha. Nah, bitch. Thank you very much, Casual Burritos. Thank you for the donation, man. You'll do anything to not be sick. Exactly. Exactly. That's the thing. You have to have the courage to get over that hurdle. It does take guts. It takes grit. And it takes strength, and you'll get stronger from it. And people will respect you for it too. Even though there will be people to try to bring you down. People have said mean things to me. Like, you're still a junkie, once a junkie, always a junkie type of fucking shit. But more people, 10 times that many people, are gonna respect you for what you've overcome. And you deserve it. Why heroin though? I can't imagine seeing a heroin addict and say, let me have some of that. That's not how it went down. That's not how it goes down usually. You don't see a random heroin addict and be like, I want some of that. That's not how it goes down. That's not how it went down at all. So you're simplifying it. Just another way to ridicule someone who's had really hard struggles and who's overcome them. Because you're insecure. Hey, God bless you too, Lampy Bible. You have a good night. Thank you. Yeah, people will hate us. I mean, people keep lying about Trump left and right, you know. It's like, when I said I was a Trump supporter, people I knew, people I thought were my friends, they just started lying about me left and right, saying I did this, saying I did that, saying I think this, saying I think that, saying I'm like on par with the Nazis. It's unbelievable the extent that people will go to try to ruin your life because of a political disagreement. It's unbelievable how corrupt they are. These are the same people who danced on Charlie's grave. And they mean nothing to me anymore. I don't want to associate with people like that. They're bad people. I don't want to describe the high of heroin because I don't see how that's helpful for anyone. Honestly, I'm sorry. If you have nicotine tolerance, it sucks, but heroin is different because you basically need to avoid pain and withdrawal discomfort. Yeah, and it's the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I understand, yeah. If these people knew how painful it was, they wouldn't be so arrogant. And they'd have more respect, I think. But we put ourselves in this situation, you know? And I take full accountability for it. You know, I'm not... Some things happened to me in my life that I couldn't control. You know, sometimes the things that happen to you aren't your fault. But there are some ways that you can, but that doesn't mean you can't have a choice in a situation and decide what you can do to avoid bad situations or make the situation better. You know, when you're young and naive, it's not that easy sometimes, you know. I'm blocking assholes, just so you know. So if you're going to be an asshole, I'm going to block you. BoJack. I like BoJack Horseman, by the way. It's a good show. You look like Kurt Cobain a tiny bit. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. It's probably the dimple. He had a chin dimple. No, she is cute. Well, thank you. The main problem with drugs, it's an easy reward. Yep. And when you have a problem, it's the quick fix. Or when you find life boring. Yeah, that too, absolutely. 100%. It's the easy way out. It's not going to lead to anything but destruction.
Is that a MAGA hat in the back?
Just imagining people losing their shit. Yeah, I am vaping. Yeah, I know. Okay. Maybe I should try to avoid that on the live stream as much as possible. I mean, I've seen other people do it, but like somehow people like to act like I don't have credibility talking about addiction and my heroin addiction and all of that if I'm vaping, which is stupid as fuck. Sis, as a big brother, I recommend you not give a fucking shit to those people who comment about your age. As from India, there is a culture not to raise or ask question about women's age. Thank you. I appreciate that, man, and you're right. You're right. Oops. Sorry. I hope I didn't accidentally delete someone. Slippery hands here. MAGA moms, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Let them be. That sounds like a song. Like a Woody Guthrie song or something. Well, not Woody Guthrie, Hank Williams or something. Let them be infantry fighters. I think Hank Williams is actually one of my favorites, though. I love Hank Williams, and I like Hank Williams Jr. Hank Williams Jr. is one of my absolute favorites of all time. Haha, you look like a friend of mine when he is thinking about stuff. Like Russian guys be having vodka after work, like 40% alcohol daily, and not just one dose. Yeah. Yeah, there is that. If the past is gone and the future hasn't happened, does the present really exist? Ooh, we're getting deep. Deep Patel. Is that, do you just go into live streams and comment and post deep comments? Is that why your name is Deep Patel? People from my country are dying to go to the USA. Yep, you got a lot of people from different countries dying to go to the USA, and yet they shit talk America and Americans. You know, you got a lot of people who want to live here for all the privileges and opportunities, and yet they shit talk our country and even talk about and try to promote, you know, ideals which are gonna turn our country into Cuba. By the way, beautiful eyes, sister. Thank you, Raj. The gospel is that Jesus Christ died for our sins, and if you confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord and have faith that He is the only way to go to heaven, you will have eternal life with Him. Amen. My name is Samantha, and I'm nice. Aw. Hi, Samantha. I don't hate all Samanthas. Like I said shout out to the nice Samanthas. All I said was that for some reason, coincidentally, every Samantha I've known has been kind of, you know, not a good person. I'm not saying that Samanthas are all bad. It was a joke. It was a joke, okay? Shout out to all the good Samanthas. Are we just gonna cherry pick what we want to hear? That's another problem people have these days. Cherry picking whatever they want to hear. Or, when they research something, coming in already having a conclusion and a conviction about something, and try and looking for whatever they can to support that conclusion or conviction. There's no like, I'm gonna open my mind, I'm gonna look at it with a new set of eyes, I'm just gonna look at it objectively. No, people make it super personal, and if it doesn't cater to their convictions, then it's like they throw it away, or they dismiss it, call it stupid, whatever. There's no growth from that. There's no learning. There's no humility in that. That's okay. I smoke cigars like I'm a drag racing mechanic. Yeah, too. So yeah. And you see, like, people need to be a little more compassionate. But, there's assholes here who just don't like me because of the damn hat, and they're gonna try to discredit me. They're looking for anything they can pick apart. It is what it is. People are stupid. You have energy of Asmongold in a woman's mind. Yes. That's a thank you. I like Asmongold. That's a big compliment. Thank you. Hope he sees this. I doubt he'll ever see any of my videos, but I have this like little fantasy that he'll compliment one of my videos. But I think that the chances of that are higher if I get into my streaming, my gaming, and I'm just waiting for all the rest of my components to come so I can do that. I really look forward to it, but I gotta wait till Friday. Usually Amazon packages come in like 1 or 2 days, but I gotta wait all week pretty much. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth the wait, hopefully. Oh, thank you for the eagle. That's so cute. Beautiful art on Instagram. Thank you, Snuffles. Yeah, guys, by the way, my information is all pinned here in the chat. If you guys would like to check my Instagram out, that's where I post a lot of my artwork. Why is my nose so big? Well, you know what? I'm not with the majority of women on this, but I think big noses are hot as hell. So joke's on you. My nose isn't big, by the way. It's probably just the angle. But yeah, I like large noses. I don't like big bulbous noses. I don't like a big blob on your face where it's the only thing I can see, like in terms of just attractiveness. But I like Adrian Brody's aquiline nose a lot. It fits his face, though. You gotta. If you had a round face, you'd look like the Jack in the Box character, or like a snowman. Kind of like Steve Perry. Was it Steve? Is that the lead singer from Journey? Maybe he'd look like that. But yeah, I like aquiline noses. I like faces that show character. But anyway, I wouldn't mind if I had a larger nose. Being smart is a good thing. It is. It is. If you're telling me I'm smart, thank you. That's right. Life is too short to troll. Quickly get a life and cheer up, or it's a miserable, lonely life for you. Amen. That's true. Very true. I haven't begged for money once on this live stream. You're so fucking full of it. I've been, and I'm not even going to respond to that. Fuck you. That's just nasty. Mean people. Pay no attention to the trolls. Thank you, Tony. Absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with me monetizing my stream here. I work pretty hard on my streams. You know, you got people just sleeping or mukbanging or whatever. You know, that's what people want to see. That's good for them. All I'm saying is, like, I really I apply myself a lot to my streams, and I really do try to encourage people who are dealing with addiction. You know, Asmund Gold, he live streams, makes millions of dollars. And I'll bet there are people out there who say the same hateful shit to him. Unless you have a miserable 9-to-5 job, it's not real work. Some people genuinely think that. You gotta be miserable in order for it to be real work. You can't enjoy your work, otherwise it's a hobby. Stupid. Fucking stupid. And these people are just bitter, they're jealous, and they suck. The trolls are a-holes. Yes, they are. Do I ever live stream in public? I have before. I mean, when I was hiking. Except that there weren't people around me. But yeah, there have been some people around me. I don't point it in their direction. I like privacy. I like privacy when I'm streaming. You know? I still live in like I live with my family at the moment. And, I've cooked on my live stream, and sometimes people will come in, you know, and do their thing, but people like to be low-key, they don't like to be put on blast, so I try to avoid that at all costs. Dude, you're fucking funny. Well, thank you. You're inspiring. Thank you, Snuffles. I don't know if I've seen you here, Snuffles, so welcome to the channel, by the way. Very nice. Thank you very much. And you too, Meet the Sea. Welcome to the channel. You look beautiful today. Thank you. Do you love Jesus? Yes, I do. That's correct. They can't be happy for you because they're in that addiction boat and can't get out themselves. Misery loves company. That's for sure. That's damn sure. That's for damn sure. That's how a lot of people spread it around and create new addicts. You know. Some people are just curious and they think one time's not gonna hurt them. That's the thing. That's what naivete does to you. You know, it's like you think that one time's not gonna hurt. And those were my thoughts too. Clear the room of trolls and move forward. Yep. Shit, my sister took the phone and is being rude. I'm so sorry. Fuck. Whoa. Watch out for your sister, man. She sounds like a keeper. She sounds like a piece of work. Kidding. Siblings can be goofy. I have siblings like that too. I don't think any of them would take my phone and start doing that because they're probably a little too shy for that, or you know, not enough chutzpah. That's kind of funny. I wish you were here because I want to watch a movie, but if I put on a movie, I have to put you away. Okay. You are not my type. Well, cool beans. Like I give a shit. Julia. I'm not even, like, gay, so... Cool beans. Good for you. Congratulations. You... whatever. I don't care. Clifton. I did heroin for about a month and traded it for oxycodone. Yeah, it's... I'm glad you didn't continue with the heroin for as long as I did. Some people, though, some people will try it once and they'll say, hey, I'm just gonna stop, and then they don't go back to it. Some people, they don't become attached to it. And I wish that would have been my situation, but unfortunately I learned through that I have an addictive personality and I have to be careful. When her hair's short, she looks like Dolores O'Riordan. No joke. Oh, thank you, Tony. She's such a good singer. From the Cranberries. Yeah, fuck communism, I agree. We all sin, and that separates us from God, but Jesus Christ died to pay for our penalty because he loves us. Good works can't save us. Trust Christ alone. Turn from sin and receive eternal life. He died for you. Amen. You know what? I'm getting so sick of people like this. Holy androgynous. Yep. Here's the most destructive habit. Procrastination. I gotta lock in. Yeah, I'm guilty. I think most of us procrastinate a little bit from time to time. I did change my profile name. I changed, it's Tangent T. That's my URL. But my channel name is still Breaking Habits. I'm from the USA. Thank you for the flower, by the way. Thank you for all the gifts, guys. Yes, absolutely. Earning is important. Yeah, I mean, otherwise I don't think I could continue to do this forever, I don't, if I'm not able to make any revenue off of this, I'd really, I'd find a 9-to-5 job where I can take my dog with me. It'd be hard to find, but I could find something like a doggy daycare handler or something. And then I'd probably not do this nearly as much, if at all, if I, didn't make any revenue whatsoever from it, because it's like, I need to be able to support myself, and all my time would be occupied somewhere else making that money so I can support myself, and I thought about being like a drug counselor and stuff like that. I think this is more effective in a way. It's kind of similar. But yeah, I mean, people will shame you if you make any money, People are bitter. Yeah, I worked at a cafe. I worked full time every day for 10 years. And they shut their doors. I was able to take my dog Shando there with me too. He goes everywhere with me. So that's the only thing is, I don't regret having Shando at all, but it is harder finding a job with him now. I mean, there are remote jobs, there's doggy daycare, and I consider this a job. YouTuber, live streamer, content creator, whatever. I also sell my fucking paintings. I work hard on my paintings. That's work, whether you want to believe it or not. Some people just think you can't enjoy, it's not a job unless you're miserable. Stupid. Painting is actually, if I were working somewhere else, at a miserable job, I wouldn't have time to work on all these commissions. This is work. And then it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't, if you're a woman. Then you'll have people saying, like, why are you trying to look for a job, I hate women who want to work, let me do whatever the fuck I want to do, and whatever makes me happy, and whatever floats my boat. My content here is actually helping people. People come to my DMs and comment on my videos, live streams, shorts, saying that my content is saving their lives. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my horn or be all arrogant or whatever, but people have said that, and it makes this worth it 10 times more. seems to be a lot more effective in drawing people in who want to get clean or think they want to get clean or have questions or, you know, or dealing with real struggles than say mandated outpatient, where some people there, like half the group is there and they don't want to be there. They make it miserable for everyone else. They make people relapse. People, you know, certain members of the outpatient group, they go behind the clinic, the building, and start using. You know, they could have made one of us relapse. I did something about it. I told on him because it was necessary. Because he's dangerous to himself and everyone else, and that's especially in that environment. Like the nerve to go around where people are fragile, they're trying to get off drugs, they probably just went through withdrawal a week ago, and you're going around doing drugs and not around them. And I'm not talking about weed, I'm talking about heroin or meth or whatever. Terrible. Don't pay attention to trollers. You're right, I shouldn't. They're wrong and they're stupid. I'm getting tired. I'm not sad at all. I'm tired. It's 11 p.m. right now. And I'm just trying to catch up with all these comments. I think it's going to be almost impossible, but I really appreciate you guys. I'm going to miss some of these comments though. Okay. Also, I forgot to take my meds today. I actually did. I forgot to take my Suboxone meds. And I'm feeling it. I'm actually feeling that. Okay, guys. Well, we're going to end the stream. Okay, we're going to end the stream now. So I just want to thank you all for being here. And please like and subscribe. Let's try to get it up to 200 maybe. I don't know if we're going to get it up to 200, but since I need to take my meds and I got to use the restroom, it's kind of my cue to end the stream now. But I appreciate you guys very much. Take care. Thank you very much. Thank you, Snuffles. Oh yeah, you guys want to say goodnight to Shando? Hey, baby. Hey, sweet baby boy. Hi. Hi, Angel Prince. Hi. Hi. Kiss. I don't want tears. Sweet Angel Prince. You got eye boobers. There's. Sweetheart. Just a baby. Can I check your ears out? Your ears look good. Yeah, baby boy. Just a baby. With the jowls just bunched up. Just a baby. Okay, guys. Oh, thank you for the 202 likes, guys. All right. So, it's 11 o'clock p.m. I'm going to call it a night, okay? And then maybe we can have a live stream tomorrow. We'll have a good one tomorrow. All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Good night. Good night, Gooning Fast. Good night, Snuffles. Good night, Pigeon. Good. And if Heather's still here, good night. Lewis, if you're still here, good night. Joel, I think Joel left, but good night anyway. Good night. Good night. Jeez, you got a lot of spam here. You know who you are. I appreciate you. You guys have a good night, okay? And stay strong. Let's not listen to these assholes as much as I have been. Or responding, I should say. All right. Take care.